keep yourself in a top 5 position and you're golden.
Well, this could be the greatest day for the new USA team, that's for sure, if they can manage to hold this start line as they've done so well. And it's just worth bringing your attention to the leaderboard on the left-hand side. At that final mark rounding, we saw Switzerland having to take a penalty where there was contact between them and Denmark. So there's 4 more penalty points awarded to Switzerland, so it's been a costly weekend for them. And Denmark 2 penalty points. But look there, 8th and 9th, Great Britain and Denmark in the season standings. That is disastrous. They've got to make something happen to get themselves back somewhere near mid-table if they can. And then for Spain, all the way through, it's what a fight for the final.
And if you're looking for some spice, look no further than New Zealand, Canada, and Spain as they try to get themselves into the top 3 here in race 5. 1 minute away from the 5th and final fleet race, and then we are down to the top 3 for the event final, and now let the dance begin.
Well, Australia have decided to lead things back here, Todd. Them and Emirates Great Britain towards the upwind end of the line. They're closer to where the wind's coming from. They're close to the line on the Great Britain there. USA, he's going to have to hope for a gap to open up Taylor Canfield because he's got himself on the 2nd row. Spain very tight at the bottom of the line, and there could be opportunity for New Zealand. He makes a move on Canada at the top of our screen. Canada has to turn away from the line. Disaster for Phil Robertson. Can the Kiwis re-accelerate that black boat there? Can they get it going as Canada have to turn? 18 seconds to go. They're going to be very slow at the gun. It's all about timing now. Switzerland on a long run up. I like where they are. Denmark well positioned. New Zealand accelerate. 9 seconds to go. Tom Slingsby out the middle of the line looks good too. How's your timing in the middle of the line, Tom Slingsby? Oh, I think they're over early, Todd. He is over early. Oh no, he's got to drop to the back of the pack. Wow, he's got work to do there. Seriously upset on board that Australian boat. It's about acceleration now. Taylor Canfield on board the US seems to have got it going as well, but they're on this end at the bottom of the screen. It's slower to Mark 1. Germany and Spain are going to be first at Mark 1. New Zealand are out the back. France are in the pack, but what an opportunity for Spain, Germany and USA.
And Spain need it the most as we look at mark number 1, the Spanish winners of 2 races yesterday. Can they get a 3rd and punch their ticket into the event final?
And down, slowly.
USA are going to be round 3rd again. Incredible consistency at Mark 1. Germany, they lead at the moment. They've got to keep clear of Spain, though. Spain have the right of way in that situation, but they decide to turn away. Looks like they're setting up.
Down. Helicopter pass.
Oh, helicopter puff, he says. I don't know about that. Germany has just now, look at the gap open up. Spain slowly moving away. New Zealand turn.
And these positions could be huge for the race to the final. This would see USA, Spain and France through. But look, Germany are in 4th. That puts them right on the edge for qualifying for their first final.
This is so tight, and New Zealand have turned right on Mark 1. I think that's a pretty good move, in my opinion. They're going to get clear at wind as they head down here. Spain have clear wind, France have clear wind. Everyone else, other than New Zealand, at the moment are sat in turbulent, disturbed wind. And it's all about re-accelerating your F50 after the manoeuvre. It's going to be so tight and tense at Gate 2, and it could define this event.
Absolutely cliche, but it is certainly a race of inches. How close was Australia from nailing that start, Stevie? And it would be a totally different situation because right now they are in jeopardy of not making a final for the first time this year.
Well, at the moment, I think they were probably a metre, if that. I mean, it was so close, but that's devil's in the detail, Todd. And it's those small bits. New Zealand, as we can see, they're going to get good wind coming onto them. They're slowly accelerating forward on France. I imagine they might have to do another manoeuvre before Gate 2, but this could be great news for Kiwi fans. USA are hanging in, doing a great job. Germany hanging in, and for the Spanish, which good news for them out in the lead. But yeah, these points are going to go to the very, very last mark in this race. This is going to be so tense, and expect the next 30 seconds to a minute to be crucial because it's going to get very slow and very congested at Gate 2.
What's so difficult here as well, particularly for the Germans and the Spanish, is even if they hold these spots, it doesn't really matter. What matters is what's going on behind them. Because if the Kiwis have a good race, then they'll leapfrog a bunch of the other boats and make it into the final.
And it's surprising to see some of the heavy hitters in the sport, France, Emirates, Great Britain, Canada, Australia in the very back of the pack right now, and that is what Emily's alluding to, because they are losing points, and those points are going elsewhere. For Spain, coming off a 10th place finish in race number 4, this would be the supreme bounce back if they can get it done. Let's say this to the rest of the fleet. Take that.
Take that indeed. And yeah, Spain, great work. New Zealand have made huge gains down here. They were 8th, and they're going to be somewhere around 5th. Could be vital, as they'll now be in the pack. USA, they're in great shape. I like this decision by Taylor Canfield. Split away from Spain and Germany. Don't follow in the disturbed wind. Get yourself in your own clear wind. Nice move, Giles Scott on board Emirates, Great Britain. But yeah, Tom Slingsby, this is rabbit from a hat moment now. You've got to find something here, and you've got to find it quick on that Australian boat.
Spain leads, Germany in 2nd, the USA in 3rd, then it's New Zealand, France, and Denmark. Emirates GBR in 7th, and Switzerland, Canada, and the Aussies out the back.
Not a lot.
And that race, the final, just keeps changing. Currently, this will see the Kiwis, Americans, and Spanish through, but the French are tied on points with the Spanish, so just need something to happen.
How big of a deal is that? Look at the Kiwis, Stevie. They were mired back in 7th and 8th. Now they're in 3rd, and look what that does to their standing.
It's incredible. We said it was going to be tight. We said it was going to be about consistency. Spain have been the absolute polar opposite to consistent. But if you are going to have bad races, win the next race. It's exactly what they did yesterday. They had a terrible race 1, came back with a win. Here they go again. And if they deliver it, you've only got to make the final. And it doesn't matter how you get there.
Massive right here, 47 true in. Yeah, massive.
Talking about the wind has rotated to the right, so the wind's coming off the shoreline to the left-hand side of our screen more. That means they'll be sailing nearly straight up the ladder lines. Great news for Spain, great news for Germany, not good news for the US boat, because all those boats behind them could potentially get there with no more manoeuvres, and USA are going to have to do some more.
Leg 3 of 5, it is Spain out in front, Germany in 2nd, the USA in 3rd. Let's go down on the water. There you see the standings as they are right now on the water. Lisa Darmanin, any hope of more pressure coming for these teams that are in the back of the pack?
How far is the boundary?
Well, it's so puffy out here. Spain did an absolutely fabulous job. When they did do that tack, they got a beautiful angle, and I thought they were going to have to do 2 maneuvers, but they are just pointing and shooting at that top gate. The other teams have come over this way, and that's exactly where I'm sitting, and I can tell you what, the wind has evaporated once more, so very slow. The teams like France, Roppel, Denmark, and Australia not flying the hull at the moment. New Zealand also struggling and getting in a little bit of a battle with Emirates, Great Britain as well. So I actually think Canada could gain out of this just because they're in more free air away from the other boats, even though to me it looks like the less favoured side.
Phil Robertson, the Canadians, currently sitting in 6th place. Remember, every point counts, 10 points to the winner, and right now it is Spain that is streaking off. This would give them 3 points out of 5 races, 3 wins, I should say, out of 5 races, Stevie, and that's going to pretty much lock them up into the final, event final. But then the battle is on. Will it be the USA? Will it be New Zealand? Will it be Canada? Will it be France?
Well, at the moment, New Zealand, the British boat got a lovely gust of wind, managed to get across in front of New Zealand, but they're clinging on, aren't they? They're absolutely clinging on in there. France need to overtake some boats, and they're not making that happen just yet. USA, Taylor Canfield, what a great job they're doing on board that US boat right now. Loving these light winds. But New Zealand has a hull out, so does Emirates Great Britain. I think the Kiwis will have a chance to stay in the hunt here, but they probably are going to want to gain at least 1 more place to keep themselves without too much anxiety towards the end here, because the French are going to be chasing them down hard.
And Emily, it's the situation right now with the French sitting in 9th place. They can do themselves a favor if they can pick off 1, maybe 2 more boats before this race is over.
Exactly, that's all they need is that 1 more position, and that would see them through to the final. But right now it isn't looking promising. They are quite far out the back, and it looks like Australia will be ahead of them as well here. But it's brilliant news for the USA team. They're holding on to that 3rd position, and that is all they need in order to make it through to the final.
Be patient, sail our own race.
Simple.
Well, that was That was actually a picture of Philippe Presti, but that's Mark Ivey, the US coach there, just saying keep it simple. That's pretty solid advice, I'd say, right now, because the hardest thing to do out there is keep it simple with the congestion in the pack. But third place for the USA at the moment. They look like they're in great shape. Spain, well, look at that. It's a cakewalk for them. New Zealand have managed to get up to 5th. Look like they've done a good job. Australia, they're up to 7th. They're making some big gains. They have the right of way now to do 2 turns, turn left. France up to 8th. It's going to go well for France. They're gaining places quickly. Oh, the points are going to be crazy tight here. In my mind, New Zealand are probably going to need to overtake the British to feel safe, because France have made a huge gain at the top of this win leg.
9th to 7th, the French and Quentin Delapierre move up 2 positions, and they have dug themselves out of a hole, but will it be enough to get them into the final?
Oh, it's so tight on board the French here. They've done well there. Not a lot they can do from here. They're probably relying on a mistake from New Zealand if they're going to have a shot at it. And New Zealand are in an awkward position relative to the Canadians right there.
And because of all of the position changes behind them, it wasn't enough. That overtake just didn't quite do it. So currently, still need another position.
And meanwhile, it is Spain that come across the line. They win race number 5 after finishing dead last in race 4. The Spanish bring it home when they needed it most.
Great result by Germany. What a day for the Germans as well. 2 fantastic races. They're going to need some boats to drop back through the fleet to make it pay off for them. But the battle, in my eyes now, is between New Zealand and Canada. Can New Zealand stay ahead of Canada? That will be so decisive in this race to the final.
Currently sitting 5th and 6th with the Kiwis with a slight advantage, but Phil Robertson's got a great position.
Got a good position, but I think he might have to do 2 more manoeuvres from there. But New Zealand look like they're making it down to this mark with nothing else. Taylor Canfield, he's being pressurised by Giles Scott now, but he's positioned the boat well.
Eric Heil and the Germans do cross the line in 2nd. So a decent day for them on day number 2, championship Sunday, a 3rd and a 2nd.
This is a huge moment for the German team. Now, while that isn't enough to put them through to the final at the moment, that does finish them on 29 points, which is only 2 points off of making a final.
Here we go, USA do get round in 3rd, but just as we left the shot a moment ago, the real battle is Canada and New Zealand, and I think the Canadians, there you go, they're on the inside, they've managed to sneak down, they're ahead of the Kiwis. As they come in here, they will round that mark before the Kiwis. Oh, that could be disastrous.
Right about now, Phil Robertson's remembering in the start box how Peter Berlin kind of pushed him to the outside and gave him a poor starting position, and now he's going to have the opportunity to really slow the Kiwis down.
He is. New Zealand faster, but they're going to have to sail all the way through their disturbed wind, and I just don't see that happening from here. Robertson absolutely blocking them off here. It's aggressive from Phil Robertson. He's really trying to press down over New Zealand here. He could get himself ending up with a penalty. I'm surprised Phil Robertson's been that aggressive. He could have just sailed himself to the line, I think, here. He's turned it into more of a fight than perhaps it needed to be.
USA finishes in 3rd.
And even if the Kiwis do finish in 6th here, that will still put them through to the final, as they will have 30 points.
Well, that is tight. Look, aggressive from Phil Robertson. He's pulling up all the tricks from his match racing locker here, trying to slow these Kiwis up. But he looks like he's going to get 5th. New Zealand just need to stay ahead of France, is what Emily's saying to us here. That's the key.
And that might be a situation here, because look how quick France is coming on. They've got 1 hole in the air, and they are closing the gap quickly as they come to the finish line.
New Zealand look like they're just going to hang in there.
The Kiwis are nice overall right now.
Phil Robertson's thinking, if I can slow the Kiwis down, can I make to the final? That's what he's saying here. He's trying to slow the Kiwis up and stop them making the final. And okay, Canada finish. He was trying to stop. Oh, the Kiwis are going to get there before France, are they? Are they going to get there?
Yeah, by a boat length.
Oh, my word. Canada made that so hard, trying to force New Zealand out of the final. That was 2 Kiwi drivers. No love lost at all.
And with those finishes, that means the USA, Spanish, and New Zealand teams will make it through to the final.
I mean, that's so tight. First time in season 4 that Australia don't make the final.
Boat's really slow ahead. Yeah, I'll just keep turning.
So it's the Americans, the Spanish, and the Kiwis that'll battle it out in the event final here in Abu Dhabi.
Sorry about that start.
And that will be the first time in season 3 that the Australians, the